Daredevil, the Marvel hero. I say he's the closest to Batman. Others may say it's Moon Knight, but that freaking psycho is crazy. Holy shit. Today we are going to be ranking Daredevil Netflix series and the Born Again series. But as you guys know, my ranks will be at the end of the video. And let's start with Matt Murdock's history. Okay, so in the beginning of the series, we see a young Matt Murdock just minding his business until he notices a blind man crossing the street and an upcoming truck is about to hit the blind guy. He rushed over to push him out the way, but in the process, a canister of radioactive chemicals fell from the truck and spilled into his eyes. In return, his vision is obviously fucked, but he has enhanced hearing to the point where he can hear heartbeats. Damn, he better not catch your ass lying. Anyways, he has radar senses, and we realize later on he could see in a world of fire, like everything's on fire. He can't even see what Zendaya look like. Sorry, Spider-Man. He has Ice Spice though. We realize years later, Matt becomes a lawyer alongside his best friend Foggy, and they become the founders of Nelson and Murdock, basically helping people who can't afford attorneys. And their first client is Karen Page, and she's framed for killing a co-worker after a massive criminal conspiracy. Matt later realizes every major criminal organization is tied to Wilson Fisk, aka Kingpin. Anyways, Matt targets the Russian mafia to protect Karen Page and disrupt their criminal operations. They establish his ass as a vigilante, and then we get the infamous hallway fight. Oh my goodness, bro. The fight is just so beautiful. Basically, Matt is just fighting a bunch of people in a hallway, making his way to save a young boy, which he later wins with sheer determination. Fast forward towards the end of the season, we get Daredevil versus Wilson Fisk. Daredevil confronts Wilson and a brutal fight happens, because this nigga Kingpin is strong as shit. I don't even know how he don't have powers. This shit is crazy. But Daredevil later wins and outlasts the big nigga and spares his life and sends his ass back to prison. During the time Kingpin is in prison, Matt Murdock becomes a more recognized hero, because that nigga is still trying to live the double life. Him living as Daredevil and a freaking lawyer. Nelson and Murdock continue taking difficult cases while Karen Page becomes a investigative journalist. But aside from that, we get the introduction of a new vigilante, the Punisher.
There's no light at the end of the road, Karen. There's no light.
You could kill it.
No.
Could you just
I don't want that. I can't do that.
Instead of another war.
I don't want to. There's no peace. Up here, there's no happy medium that I'm looking for. War. War's not easy.
War? War? Listen to yourself.
You have nothing but a war inside you.
Let's go home.
Man, I killed that shit. That's my own, man. I can do it. I can kill it just for fun. But that doesn't mean it's easy. I can do things. I don't want to hear me. I'm gonna do it my way. You want him dead, Kurt?
How else does he say?
This only ends with being dead. That's why I'm here, right? To convince you that that's okay. It's okay to want. No. Go home.
The Punisher, aka Frank Castle, gets captured and Murdock has to defend him. We end up learning why this nigga punishes, because his family got wasted in a gang shootout. But later on, this nigga Frank crashes out and saying he'll kill again, completely scaring the entire courtroom. Aside from that, Matt's old college girlfriend asks for Matt's help. And I'm sorry, this nigga Matt Murdock's bag work has got to be studied, because he can't keep getting away with this. I'm talking, this nigga got with Elektra, Karen Page, the fucking nurse that repeatedly gets this nigga to recover from injuries of being Daredevil, Claire Temple. Even in different series, this nigga is cracking buns. In Daredevil Born Again, he had Heather. And this nigga also had radioactive cheeks. I'm talking, this nigga has She-Hulk. This nigga Daredevil selfish as shit. Anyways, after discovering the Hand's underground hideout, Daredevil and Elektra infiltrate their base, and a huge battle breaks out. I'm talking, niggas is fighting in waves like this some sort of fucking video game. During the fight, Daredevil defeats Nobu once again, but before they can even escape, Elektra saves saves Daredevil by stepping in front of him, unfortunately getting executed. Kingpin begins manipulating the FBI from the inside his cell. Due to this nigga made a deal with the government to transfer his ass to protective custody. And from here, he slowly regains his criminal empire by bribing and blackmailing agents and killing anyone who stands in his way. Then we are introduced to a new FBI agent to protect Fisk, Benjamin Poindexter, aka Bullseye.
I'm one of the good guys.
Dex is an incredibly skilled marksman that makes John Wick looks like fucking child's play. But Fisk realized how insane this nigga is and carefully manipulates his ass to put on the Daredevil suit to ruin this nigga's reputation. And after wearing the suit, the man without fear pulls off. Alright, Trevor J, you forgot to zip up. I'm not gonna lie, I feel like Bullseye gotta be Daredevil's Green Goblin. But this fight is insanely peak. This nigga Bullseye got this nigga Daredevil scared shitless. Anyways, remember when I said Fisk was manipulating the FBI officials? Well, he kept doing that to the point where he's just straight up living in a luxury penthouse, which he holds his wedding. But a serious fight begins because Bullseye realizes this nigga Fisk was manipulating his ass, and now he wants revenge. And Daredevil is there to prevent any killing. So we get a three-way fight, which is Daredevil versus Bullseye versus Kingpin, which is insanely peak. Oh my god! But later, Bullseye gets his back blown by Kingpin, but is later experimented on during spinal surgery. Alright, we have a little time skip on our hands because this nigga Matt leveled up and his company is literally booming. Also, who the fuck elected Kingpin as mayor? I was watching this like, oh hell nah, these niggas is fucked. Anyways, we get to the celebration party at Josie Bar, but everything goes left, forcing Matt to go Daredevil. And remember Bullseye getting his back blown? He's back and he shoots Foggy, Matt's best friend, and this sends Matt rushing back to confront Bullseye. And we get a peak fight. Episode 1. This nigga Daredevil had like 5 knives on his chest from Bullseye literally 6 spamming. Damn Bullseye, you need cooldowns. Holy shit. Bullseye is eventually thrown off a building out of rage from Daredevil, but somehow the nigga survived. Anyways, Mayor Fisk officially formed an anti-vigilante task force, or AVTF. These niggas are a special police unit made of corrupt officers loyal to Fisk. Now, the final villain of this season, which is Muse died before the season even came to a close. But due to Muse being exposed, this led to Mayor Fisk expanding his task force, and Matt had to realize that he actually can't beat Mayor Fisk alone. Side note, the task force actually captured the Punisher, but he later escapes like a fucking G. Some time passes and New York is still under the shadow of Mayor Fisk, and Matt refuses to back down, and this forces him to come up with a solution, which is exposing his ass. Matt becomes a symbol of a growing resistance against Fisk, and due to this nigga Fisk strengthens his grip on the task force, giving them more authority using fearful methods to strengthen control. Basically, they could just kill publicly. We also see Daredevil's new suit, and I gotta say, it's just pure aura. Yes, Matt, we see the fit. Oh my god. Anyways, I gotta talk about the massacre this nigga Bullseye did in the diner. This dude really called the task force and lied saying the Punisher was there so they could pull up, and this nigga Bullseye just kills them all in the most gruesome way possible. I wish I could show y'all, but Marvel's copyright will be diddling my ass. What? Damn, Turbo J. What the fuck was that? Anyways, we get Bullseye pulling up to Fisk's boxing mat. And I'm not gonna lie, why the fuck would you do that? Y'all boxing this nigga? Cause I ain't. The nigga died in the boxing ring, bro. Damn, looks like Kingpin gonna be boxing these bullets. Bullseye managed to kill Vanessa, Mayor Fisk's wife, and this sets him in a fury. But later on in the courtroom, Matt finally exposed Fisk, but it came with a price because this nigga had to pull a Tony, and he had to say, I am Daredevil. Oh my gosh, you can't tell me this nigga Daredevil isn't tough. But after this, we get the Resistance versus Fisk, and good God almighty, this nigga's last word he ever heard was boo.
Open that door!
Eventually, Fisk is no longer mayor and is exiled outside of New York, and Matt is arrested for the charges he's got as Daredevil. Daredevil is so tough, man. Y'all gotta watch it, please. Jay, why are you glazing on the outro? Take it off. All right, that's the whole Daredevil series, Netflix plus Born Again. All the seasons were peak, but here's my ranking. All right, guys, you know the drill. Get this video to 3 likes and I'll make another series. But before I go, here's the Bible verse of the day. All right, guys, see you next video.